What's up? Today I'm going to talk about my 1 month / 1,000 mile review of the Chevy Bolt. I've put right at 1,000 miles on it. I've now had a month and 2 days. Yes, a month and 2 days. On the 1 month mark, I had driven at 990 some odd miles. I'm thinking I'm around 1,070 or 1,080 now. But here's the first thing. I'm sitting here charging. I wouldn't buy any electric car I didn't have a DCFC. I wouldn't do it just because, I guess if you're certain you're never ever going to use it, even though I will use mine extremely rarely, it's still a must just in case I'm traveling with it, which I may never do, but just in case, it's there, at least for me. I'm sorry about the wind noise. Let's try a voiceover for a while. Now here is something I like. I like the fact it has these unlock buttons on all 4 doors. If I hit the ones on the back, then every door unlocks. But if I hit the ones on the front, this right here, then only the driver's door unlocks. I think you can change that in settings, but I like the way it's set up. One thing I don't like about this car that I find odd for 2017 is it only has 1 trip odometer. I don't like that. I like having at least 2. I'll usually reset one monthly, so I know what I've done that month. Then I'll reset the other for whatever I need for that day, for that trip, for just whatever. But I like 2 trip odometers. You will not get it with the 2017 Chevy Bolt. Another thing I don't care for is if you mute the stereo, it doesn't remember that when you start the car again. If you mute it, shut the car off, start it again later, then it's going to start playing music, where I think it should remember you wanted it muted until you decide to unmute it. Also, just like the Chevy Spark EV, this is odd. The only way I know to shut the stereo completely off is to shut down the screen where it's completely black. If I'm wrong, let me know. But it was the same way with the Chevy Spark EV, and it's the same way with this, which is just kind of odd. You know, I love this fake floor. You know, look how deep this is. And that right there covers it up so that you can put stuff underneath here. Now, I can't use this feature because I need this out for my wheelchair. I mean, look at that. Now, I can raise the seats up with my wheelchair back here. If I put my wheelchair right here, I have to leave them folded down, but if I put them underneath, if I put the wheelchair underneath, I can raise the seats up. And I'm going to when I get home, and I'm going to store these 2 things. But this would be awesome if you got 2 legs and you're walking and stuff, and you can utilize this space. You can put all kinds of stuff under here. The biggest surprise with this car for me in the first month, I am shocked at how many comments I get on the looks. I've had probably 5 or 6 people. Now, a couple of family members, I guess they don't count. They have to comment on your new car. But I've had probably 4, maybe 5 strangers tell me what a great looking car that is. I went to Sonic yesterday, and the little chickadee, little 18-year-old chickadee, she brought my food out. She said, "Oh my gosh, I love your car. It's so cute." I get that a lot. Of course, I get comments. Sometimes they just comment on the color a couple times, but usually they comment either on the car or the color and the car. Like, I love the color of your car, and it's just a great looking vehicle. So, I mean, who uses the word vehicle? Nobody. But anyway, you get my point, what I'm trying to say. Here's something else. Before I saw one in person, because around here you don't see them very often, I did not like this grill. I thought this grill was ugly. I thought it looked cheap, at least in the pictures. But I'm telling you, in person, I like it. I think it looks fantastic. But as far as the overall looks of the car, I love the color, but the car, when people tell me it's a great looking car, I just don't see it. It's not an ugly car, but I mean, it's just a car as far as looks goes. I see nothing special about it. I'm undecided yet if I like this chrome or not. You know, I'd like to, if I could snap, I can't snap my fingers. If I could snap my fingers and make it black and that up there too, I like to do that just to see what it would look like. And then snap my fingers again and turn it back if I didn't like it. You know, it's hard for me to envision without seeing it. But I'm not sure I like the chrome. I guess it's okay. Actually, I don't really care either way. But welcome to tomorrow. Today I'm going to cover the inside of the vehicle more on my 1,000 mile 1 month review. I'm getting ready to go to Sonic in Truman, then I'm gonna come home, then I'm gonna go to Sonic in Lake City later today. So Truman is roughly 47-48 miles round trip. Lake City is about 35 miles round trip. So here's the question. I have a Sonic 2 miles from my house. I have one 4 miles from my house. I have one about 6 miles. I have one about 10 miles. There are probably 5, 6, maybe 7 Sonics in Jonesboro. So why would I travel so far to eat at a Sonic? Can't tell you. I'm contractually obligated not to tell you. But I bet you can figure it out. Why I go to so many Sonics. Matter of fact, I would say I probably drive about 6,000 miles a year going to eat at various Sonics in the area. I brought my GoPro mount, but I forgot to bring that little jigamabob that actually, the frame that the GoPro actually sits in. I'm not going back in to get it. With 2 legs, I would. 1 leg is too much trouble. I already went back in to get my jacket because Arkansas this time of year, it's like this. Right now I'm a little bit chilly. In 30 minutes it's gonna be hot and I'm gonna be shedding this thing. You wait and see, or an hour at most. But it's a little chilly now, so I went back in and get it. I ain't going back in again. It's too much trouble. Like I said, with 1 leg. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna do the best I can without the mount and have to let people just yell at me for using my GoPro while going down the road. Oh well, they can just yell. I don't care. We can go 199 miles according to the guessometer. Here's what I was talking about yesterday. Look at this. You hit this to mute it. Whoops. You know when it's muted, and unmute. But the only way to shut it completely down, the stereo, is do this and it asks if you want to go into low power mode where you know the whole thing goes blank. I don't want to do that. But just like the Chevy Spark is the only way to shut the stereo off that I can find, and I don't like that. Another thing about this car, just the Chevy Spark, the heated seats sucked. This car, they're not as bad as it, but they're not that great. Auto, I always want to try the auto heated seats. Yeah, most times even on a bitter cold day I can barely feel it when it's on auto. Put it on high, and again I can barely feel it. It's kind of stupid. I don't think they work that good. I think the backup camera is just fine in this car. I do, and this particular model has the warning things where if somebody's coming up from the left side or right side, it'll start beeping and having an arrow or something pointing that direction, you know, to let me know. This car, like all electric cars, I'm gonna stop here for a second. This car, like all electric cars, or almost all of them, has an extra regenerative braking mode, which is this L right here. Now we've got it. But now I've driven 4 cars with batteries in them. 5 if you count a Prius, but 4 that plug in. I'll put it like that. I've driven 4 cars now that plug in, and I've never known of one that has this much regenerative braking, this forceful. And I wish it was less, and I wish you could adjust it, because I'm not sure I care for it. I mean, it just stops so fast. Watch this. Okay, now watch this. You watching my speed? Watch how fast it stops. I seriously pretty much went forward. You know, it's almost too much. This thing stops like my daughter does. My daughter's like a lot of drivers. It's like this lady right here. But anyway, what she does, and what a lot of drivers do, is they'll go 60 to 0 in 4 seconds. That's why they come to stop signs. 60 to 0 in about 4 seconds. And I don't, it bugs me. Especially if I'm the guy on the street, you know, going the, you know, like if I was on this street up here, going this way, and some goofball was going this way and going, you know, stop real fast, like right here, if I could see them coming the other way, I'd start getting nervous. Are they going to stop? Look at that. Now, I'm sure I'll get used to it. I don't drive in this mode that often, actually, and I always drove in low mode or extra regenerative mode with electric cars. But it's just so fast that it stops. It puts a lot of battery. See, look, we're putting up to 40 kilowatts back in the battery. And this is another reason why electric cars, the batteries last, I mean, not batteries, the brakes last so long. Because I'm not actually using brakes when I stop. It's not using the brake pads. So brake pads last a long, long time in electric cars. It's nothing for the brake pads last 100,000 miles, maybe way, way more. You know, depending on how you drive the car. Now, because I don't have my mount, I can't show you, but there's also brake paddles behind the steering wheel right here. There's a brake paddle. And you can keep it in D mode and use that regenerative braking. And if you pull back on this handle right here, you can't see right there, then it'll stop just like it's in L mode. And it is one pedal driving. If you're in L mode or D mode and you pour back on these, when it stops, it's not moving until you hit the accelerator. Which if I'm sitting at a drive-through at a restaurant, then I keep moving my gear shifter because I forget I'm in one pedal driving mode. And a lot of times at restaurants before at the drive-through, I would put it in park because I get tired of having my foot on the brake. So I think that's what I've done, and it's gonna take some getting used to get out of that habit. You know, I forget I just need to push the gas pedal because it sits still. Blind side monitoring. I'll never want another car without blind side monitoring. We're getting ready to go, you know, increase our speed limit right there. These morons, they don't wait for the sign. See right there, it tells me somebody's on the blind side. Now, to go increase the speed. Which brings us something else about this car. This car at highway speed, 70, 74 miles an hour, 72, is so much more smooth than the Chevy Spark EV. I'll slow down. Because these goofballs. So much more smooth. The Chevy Spark on the highway was not that good of a riding car. It got pushed around real easy. This car does not. This car is really nice at highway speeds, going 70 miles an hour or more. You know, I have no complaints about it. The Chevy Spark EV, especially a windy day like this, I'm being pushed around a little bit because of the wind. The Spark EV, I'd be thinking, ooh, you know, not really scary, but almost scary, if that makes any sense. Good gracious. But anyway, hey, look at there. Look at those guys, how hard they're working. Man, I like seeing people work. I'll tell you something. You want to get my respect? One way to stay within the law and work. I respect someone that works. Hard worker, man. Anyway, but this car does really good on the highway. Now, as far as comfort of ride, if the road is super smooth like this is, then it's a fantastic riding car. But in this car, I seem to feel every single bump. Every single bump, I seem to feel it. Now, it could be the tires, because this car is shipped, I think, with run flat tires. And run flat tires are, from what I understand, they're horrible as far as ride quality. And they're expensive. Now, I need to check these tires. Now, I'm going to try to remember to do that before I post this video, but I'm good at forgetting. I'm going to try to see if these are the run flat still on the car. Maybe why, but this car feels every single bump. Unlike the C-Max Energy. The C-Max Energy, which had independent suspension, was an incredibly smooth riding car for the size. This one, extremely comfortable on the highway, or if it's a perfect road. If it's a bumpy road, yeah, it's not gonna be that comfortable. But now speaking of comfort, a lot of customers, a lot of them, or drivers, owners, whatever you want to call them, they talk about how uncomfortable the seats are. I have not found that. I mean, I think these seats are perfectly fine. I'm 5'11", 6 foot, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I weigh way too much. I weigh somewhere around 185 pounds or something. And that's with my one leg. I know when I lost my leg, I lost 27 pounds that month. You know, combined with me losing a leg, the weight of it, and hospital food for a month. And I didn't eat for 2 weeks because they had me on IV, you know, feed me that way. But I lost 27 pounds. And, you know, so if I don't lose some weight, then I may have to cut the other leg off. Lose another 27 pounds. You know, that's your last, I mean, you have to really want to lose weight to cut a leg off, you know, but if that's what you have to do, it's what you have to do, you know. If you don't have any self-discipline like me, I have no self-discipline when it comes to food. Oh my God, I love food. Oh my God, I love to eat. I do, and it's ignorant, but I do. One more thing about L mode. If you're in L mode and you let off the accelerator, the car stops so fast that the brake lights do come on without you actually hitting the brakes, just like the Spark EV. The Volt did not do that. And that always bugged me in the Volt, because the Volt didn't stop this fast, but it stopped fast enough where you needed brake lights. You know, so if there's anybody behind me in the Volt, I had to tap my brakes. But this car, you don't have to. If you have an L mode, or if you use this brake pedal back here, either one. When you left the accelerator or you touch this, the brake lights do come on. Oh, here's something else. It has good acceleration. Especially 0 to 40. Also, the heated seats may not work that well, but that heated steering wheel right there, it works really well. Man, I love that heated steering wheel in the winter. It is nice. It's real nice. Just like the Chevy Spark EV, look right there. Heat and AC is one button. The computer will decide if you need heat or air conditioning, depending on what temperature you have it set at. Right now I don't have the temperature on. Now I do. See, it's on 74. Heat and air. If it was 10 degrees outside, it'd be blowing heat. If it was 80, it'd be blowing air, you know, cold air conditioning. Dang, that's it, air conditioning. You can customize this screen, but not enough in my opinion. Customization options are not enough for me, but you know, it's okay. And I like this clock, but you have a clock right there. But when I went to customization, there's nothing really to replace it with. By the way, I ain't worried about that phone number, because that's one of those spammers. Call them and tell them to quit doing that nonsense. If it's somebody I knew, then I wouldn't be showing this right now. But I get so many calls from people. They're telling me my vehicle insurance is about, my vehicle warranty is about to expire, or my student loan, I could be forgiven. Yeah, whatever. Screw you. You know, if you do telemarketing for a living, you need to do something else. It's unethical. Well, depending on top of telemarketing, I'm sorry. If you do the top that's actual just spam, shame on you. Or if you're bugging people, shame on you. Find something else to do. Don't be bothering people. Energy detail. Right here, you know, you can see I use 1% for climate settings. Probably just now when I turned the air conditioner on, because that's the only time I've had it on. 99% for driving and accessory. Battery conditioning, that's in case it's super duper hot or super duper cold. It'll send either warm air or cool air to the battery. There's a gel pack around the battery, and it'll either heat up the battery or cool it down. You know, because batteries, if you get them too hot or too cold, it could damage them, you know, especially if you do it a lot. And that's the problem with the Nissan Leaf. They don't have battery conditioning. The little lady here came by with the Sonic tray, the courtesy tray, and so I had to talk to her, so I shut it off. But anyway, they're supposed, you may not know this, but Sonic is required to periodically run around with that tray right there, you know, and ask people if they need anything off of it. Not all of them do it though, but they're all supposed to. But anyway, right here it shows I use 4.7 kilowatt hours at 8 cents a kilowatt hour to get 18.1 miles from my house to here. So that'd be 8 times 4 is 32, and then about 32.5 cents is what it costs. Might as well say 40 cents. You know, might as well round up to 5 kilowatt hours. It'd be 40 cents. So 40 cents of electricity to go 18 miles. That's not bad at all. Right here is the driving score. Minus 0.8. 3.3 for technique, minus 3.2 for terrain. I must have been going uphill, which means I'll get better miles per kilowatt hour on the way home. 0.3 climate settings, negative, because I turned it on for 30 seconds. Outside temperature, minus 0.6. You know, the most you can get is 5, and the worst you can get is -5 on your score. I mean, excuse me, you can get 20, I guess, because you could get 5 on each one. 5 times 4 is 20, or -20. And right here, the last 5 miles, your miles per kilowatt hour. Now, right here is what I'm presently getting, which I'm not, because I'm not getting anything because I'm sitting still. But let's take these right here. I got almost 4. Now think about it. 4 miles per kilowatt hour. And like I said, a kilowatt hour in my neck of the woods is 8 cents. So I can go almost 4 miles for 8 cents. You know, and I got over 4 there. But I don't like this in the fact that the Chevy Spark, you could change it. The Chevy Spark EV and or the Volt, I don't remember which one, maybe both. You could change it to the last 5 miles, the last 1 mile. Same with the C-Max Energy. You have some options you could change this. I have not figured out a way to change this, and I don't think you can. I think you're stuck with every 5 miles, which isn't a huge deal, but I would like to make it a little more customizable if I could, you know. I got the hot dog plain so I can take it home, separate them, put them in 2 separate sandwich bags, and I'll eat them the next day or 2. You know, separate the bread from the meat and put them together and put relish and relish and mustard on it later and eat it in a few days from now. Right now all I'm eating is the cheese sticks, and I'm not even gonna eat all of those, I don't think, because I'm going to eat at Lake City Sonic here in a few hours. And there I'll probably get a burger and actually eat it, then nibble on the fries and throw the rest away. If I had brought a cord with me, I'd plug up my phone to show you. But right in here is where the Android Auto app shows up, or Apple CarPlay app once you plug your phone up. I don't know about Apple CarPlay, but the Android Auto works really well in this car. Only the second car where I've had experience with Android Auto. The Ford C-Max Energy, it worked once it would connect, but a lot of times you'd have to unplug and plug the phone 2 or 3 times before it finally connect. This one, when I first got the car, it was the same way. You know, it did that for maybe a week, but the last 3 weeks or so, every time it picks it up on the first time. So I don't know if it's going to revert back to being iffy or if it's going to always be phenomenal. Last 3 weeks has been phenomenal, works really well. And of course, the only thing I do with Android Auto is Google Maps when I need to GPS and go somewhere. And most times it's not so I know where I'm going. It's just so I know how many miles I am. I'm, you know, usually curious how far I am from home or from my destination. I just like to know. You know, especially if I'm going to work. Because if I'm going to work, I want to make sure I'm not late. So I leave extra early. And then I'll watch my estimated time of arrival so I'll know whether to adjust my speed or not. So if you really needed to pass somebody and get in passing gear, here you go. This car has no problems, you know, getting up to the speed you need to get up to. Speed limit 75. Right now we're doing 80. It's a little bit too fast. I usually go about 3 miles over the speed limit. And why I have not been stopped in probably 25 years. Dang. Hey, this car is supposed to go 0 to 60 in, I'm thinking about 6.2 seconds or something. 6.5. I ain't had a chance to try yet because I ain't found a good safe place to do it. And I don't like doing that anyway. You know, because I'm always, I don't know. I'm pretty much a rule follower. I've done it, and sometimes it's hard not to. You know, but it's hard to find a spot where you sitting still and you can legally get up to 60. You know, most times you're sitting still, the speed limit is 40 and 45. You know, because you had a red light or something. Going 78 and then driving like a horse's ass. Hurt my miles per kilowatt hour for sure. Now I've used 7.5 and I've only gone 28 miles. You know, but that's all right. You know, I should be getting 4 miles per kilowatt hour in this weather without the HVAC on. But going 78, you're not going to. Man, look at the cars. Once you get up to about 60, 65, depends on the car, it really starts hurting the range. You know, not, well, okay, I shouldn't have used the word really, but it does hurt the range. If you get up to 65, 70, 75 for sure. On my way to the bank, and then we're going to Lake City for the second leg of the trip. I have to go to the bank because I had to have cash because about 2 months ago, all Sonic credit card machines quit working for me. And I don't know why. I have 3 different credit cards. None of them will ever work. And I've tried putting it in that little slot multiple different ways. So I always have to have cash. Okay, so that's what I gotta do. At least the GoPro is mounted now. It seems to be, there's no good place in the car to mount it, really. I'm gonna have to get me a dash thing to put right there. It looks like it's shaking. I'm hoping it's gonna be okay and not too much shaking in the camera. But I want to talk about the dash and stuff. All these hard spots. No soft spots anywhere. I don't care. The last car I had, Ford C-Max Energy. All the reviews talked about how all this is soft touch and feels so luxurious. Well, how often do you really go around doing this right here? I mean, to me, it just really doesn't matter. You know, I didn't really care a whole lot that that was soft touch, and I don't care that this is hard touch. You know, but it's definitely a cheap interior. You know, I mean, they could have spent some more money if they'd wanted to, but I don't think it'd matter to me a whole lot. Besides, I really like the way this looks. I think it looks nice. But the steering wheel is nice and it feels nice. And I believe this is the leather wrap steering wheel. I bet the base model, it doesn't feel like this. This is a really nice wheel. I think you have to get this if you buy the package that has the heated seats and heated steering wheel, which I would definitely do. I wouldn't buy one without the heated steering wheel. Wouldn't do it. I would search around until I found one with it, but that's just me. And look at this. I don't know if you can tell on the camera. I didn't notice after I bought it. There's an imperfection in the dash right there. Another imperfection here where someone has put a, it looks like it's coffee cup and let it set and it left a stain. And that's, you know, I am the worst at spending $15,000, $16,000 in a car without even really looking at it. I think next time I'm going to go over a car more with a fine tooth comb, because it's just amazing I didn't notice that until after I bought it. You know, but that's just me, I guess. If it drives okay, I guess that's just my main deal. You know, scratches here and there, okay, no biggie. I still would have bought the car probably, but I would have wanted to use that as a negotiating point to try to get them knock a few $100s off. You know, but oh well. Something else, I mentioned these rearview mirrors earlier about how blind side alert. Well, they also will light up if the car is not in your blind side yet, but it's coming up at you at a fast rate of speed. So if you're sitting still and there's a car coming up on you 40, 50 miles an hour or whatever, I don't know what the number is, even though he's way back there, your mirror goes ahead and lights up, which I think is a pretty nice feature. Because even though they're not in your blind spot yet and you wouldn't hit them at that second, if you're going that slow and they're going that fast, it could be a problem. And so the mirror will alert you to that as well. It'll go ahead and light up, which I think is I think that's awesome. That's beyond just, you know, letting you know somebody's in your blind side. And they actually have two logos. One's a star and one looks like a car. You know, I haven't paid enough attention to know if one of them lights up if they're back yonder approaching. You know, I don't know. It's just if I see something lit up there, I know I can't get over. But what's my favorite feature of this car? Well, the range, of course. The 238 miles, which is hard to beat. That's very hard to beat. You know, you have to pretty much get it. Well, not anymore. I started to say you pretty much have to get a Tesla. When this came out in 2017, that was probably true. But now there are some more options. But most of them are expensive options. You know, you can, this is the only, probably the only 200 plus mile electric car you can buy used for $14,000 and $15,000. I think. Hey, right up here is Ritter Communication. Right there is the entrance. I reported that place to PlugShare the other day. They've got car chargers right here in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Sure is nice of them. And they're open to the public for free. If you're driving through Jonesboro, you stop by Ritter. Also, one of my favorite features is the one-pedal driving. I love the one-pedal driving. Even though it stops a little faster than I would choose for it to do, if I could pick the perfect stopping distance, it stops a little bit too fast for me. I still love the whole idea of one-pedal driving, especially at drive-thrus. Drive-thrus, it's just so awesome. You don't have to keep your foot on the brake waiting for the next car to move up. Just every once in a while hit the gas pedal. And Tesla and some of the higher end cars, as it goes beyond that. When that car moves up, it knows and it moves automatically with it. And this one won't do that. This one you do have to hit the pedal to make it go again. You know, at least this version. You know, now the premier model, I think might do that. I'm not gonna say, but I think it's a little bit better as far as, you know, the one pedal driving goes. It may go on its own. I don't know. Speaking about the dash, I really like this. I don't know if you can tell on the TV, on the screen or not, but this is really nice. I like that texture. I just like the way it looks. And I think the dash overall is just a really nice looking area, nice looking dash. I like the instrument cluster. It tells you how many miles you can go projected, and your maximum and your minimum. And of course, how many kilowatts you're burning at the moment. The higher that number, the worse that's going to be. I just wish I had 2 trip odometers, but oh well. No place in this car shows the percentage of battery. Just like the Chevy Spark EV. For some reason, Chevy doesn't like to show you the percentage of battery. But you can hit this energy button here. Let's go with this. When you hit this energy button, you're going to have some options here. Hit flow, and then right here, you can kind of figure on your own. 25, 50, 75, 100%. And each one of these is 5%. So 25, 50, right now I got about 65% battery left. So about 2/3 of the battery. Go here, and here so you can change your different charging options and stuff. And here's your information, which is why I leave it on sometimes. 18.3 kilowatt hours today, 70.9 miles. Round everything off, 18 kilowatt hours at 8 cents a kilowatt hour would be 80, and 64 be $1.44. You know, about $1.48, say $1.50. $1.50 electricity to go 71 miles. You know, and right here, negative score of 0.5, mainly because of the terrain today. And miles per kilowatt hour for each 5 miles, which I've already showed that. I discovered something accidentally today. I shut the door and I was walking off and I heard the doors lock. This car evidently, if you have your key pod on you, if you just shut the doors, it will lock itself after you get about, oh, and it happened just now. I'd say I got to about right here. Right here probably. So just 2 or 3 feet away and you can hear your doors lock. I think that's awesome. I love that. And I'm sure in settings you can turn that off. I bet you can. But why would you want to? I think this is actually a time delay lock. Has nothing to do with how far away I was, but just a matter of so many seconds and that locks. One of the negatives about this car is the slow level 3 charge rate. Now even slow level 3 is pretty fast, but 50 kilowatts is the maximum level 3 charge from what I understand. And I haven't done it yet, but that's what I've been hearing. That's pretty bad for even in 2017. I don't think any manufacturer should be putting any level 3 charger in that will take less than 100 kilowatts. 50 kilowatts, how many miles an hour am I going to get? I don't know. I'd have to just wait until I do it one of these days and see. You know, it's still gonna be pretty fast though, a lot faster than level 2, which is like a 220 dryer plug or something, which is what I have at my house there at the carport. You know, but I won't be using this car for traveling, except maybe going to my brother's house. You know, that's what I figure anyway, because anywhere else, my wife will for sure go with me, and she'd have no desire to take an electric car on the road trip. She'd want to take the truck. I said, I don't care if the gas is $4 a gallon, just because it's much simpler to fill up. You can pull over and fill it up, and plus, she'd be scared we're gonna run out of energy. You know, scared we get somewhere and the charger wouldn't work, which is that's a legitimate fear actually. One of the big problems in the early days of electric cars, which is what we're living through, is the chargers are not very reliable. Tesla chargers seem to be, but all the others, they don't seem to be that reliable. It's pretty common to get somewhere and the charger be tore up. If you're somewhere like California, it's no big deal. You can go next door and there's another charger. A lot of areas though, they don't have many chargers. You can always go to, if you have a cord with you though, a 1450 NEMA cord, you can always go to an RV park and plug in, you know, if you have to. All right, I think that's it. I think we'll wrap the video up. All in all, I really like this car. It is really nice, real nice. Plus, man, you just can't beat the range. I mean, we've gone 68 miles today. You see right there, another 135. That's 203 miles. I think we can get more than that. And you know, we got up to 80 at one time. We did 74 for a while. We did 64 a whole bunch, and still showing 200 miles. And I think we can actually get a little bit more. All right, y'all have a good day, and thanks for watching. And remember, chicks, dicks, scars, and electric cars.